is day 290 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor an upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It would be very much appreciated. Today we're still doing Simon Reish Beis, and we are doing from Lamed Zayin to Mem Gimel. And we're doing the sheet of the Rambam in the brachas of cooked fruit and vegetables. And Rambam said that the only time you would make hadama on cooked vegetables is if you had them on the liquid of cooked vegetables, is if that was the reason why you cooked them for the liquid in order to drink it. Lamed Zayin. I have evidence for the Rambam. That's only when you only make the bracha hadama on the waters when you specifically made it to drink the waters. It says that when you drink the olive oil by a nigron dam rabba, and nigron maya the silke, nigron is water of specifically beets, and sigron is my kulshaki, it's water of all other cooked vegetables. So the Shas calls this the process which you're doing with the oil drinking. Maya the silke, maya the kulshaki, it says water of the beets, water of any cooked vegetables. Shehikshah came the maya the shalka, kishalka, he has since the water of the cooked vegetables, like the cooked vegetables. Why don't we make a bracha on beer made out of barley, hadama? That's when I can make a bracha on the barley itself. His answer was that the water of the vegetables normally eat with them bread. If you're going to say that the cooking was in order to eat the vegetables, it's not all comparable to beer to ask such a question, where the point is to drink. The must be similar to beer, which you cook deliberately in order to drink. And he says Mordechai seems to indicate the same thing. And back to says etc. He says that what they wrote about the Rambam, Abraham, he, the Mordechai brother, Nishmas Avram, Abraham Tam, like on the when you pickle vegetables, or you soak them, and kamo Russell show kroit, whatever that is, the beverage made out of a cabbage. They show ugrekas of pickles. Nira the dina kobishul, that seems to be like cooking. Shaitam who be a rokosatsu. The taste of this pickling juice is like the vegetables themselves. The rubes we also cane, and most of these vegetables are planted. She b'shul, so already be pickled. But you eat the vegetables with the sauce when they are soaked. Although I think nowadays our pickles are not meant for them eaten that way. That's according to the Rosh and Rashi, we should make adama on that pickling juice. According to what we wrote, the bracha has to be shakal regardless. Because whatever the taste is, you're not doing it for those waters. In cabbage, since you don't put water into the kraut, into the cabbage, Musa wrote them. Some of the cabbage itself produces that it's beverage, which clearly I tell me is the case of our sauerkraut. But whenever they process it, that's where it works. That's what it says, the taste of the cabbage. But the time they made payos, it's not like fruit juice, commercial sitting on base, like we're sitting on base. I would also show borekas, but the rustle of the beets, when you drink it raw, mevark shakul, chodesh, make shakul according to all opinions. I'm sorry. Because you only drink it normally raw, and sorry, there is not to drink it raw, but rather cooked. Those days, the Russell show grekas and the shvicha. Pickling juice of pickles is usually poured out, which I think is actually the case.
Ain't okay, but the Arukh HaShulchan, that's Chayodim. The Arukh HaShulchan says ain't okay. This is like a different Metzias depending where you live. He says many people eat this pickling juice with bread. Even rich people use it on their tables. This is some sort of, again, compa type thing, but this is a beverage. Yagdis is from berries or from fruit, or from apples. Vade, because the chocolate, definitely the bracha chocolate, the Abraham, is an apple juice of some sort. The Abraham tam pri, umay ba'amoninu. I don't know, but else apple juice is more, it does have the taste, but certainly bracha chocolate and apple cider, which is thick, one could theoretically make all eights. The Abraham tam pri, my ba'amoninu, but by the apple juice, which you normally get, it certainly doesn't have the taste of the fruit, it's just water. Can make portion is white and middle, v'chein kosav v'chay adam, and taz with vort moin. Mr. Brewer writes, Mr. Brewer, the juice of the pickles, where you're only pickling for the pickles, in order that they should get sour, and you have nothing to do with the pickling. The pickling juice is nothing. You make on the pickling juice shako. The place to make is that most people use dip their bread in the pickling juice. You have to make bar priyadama even if you just drink the beverages. Again, I don't think anybody does it nowadays. The rabbi writes the same thing is true about the rotev, the source of kompot. In our countries, we call it kraut, or compost, I should say, not because it says here. In our country, call it kraut, cabbage, shahako. And he says, again, it depends on the minute of the country. And also when you're eating the source of the kraut, the vegetables raw. But if you cook them with the kraut, you want to drink just the sauce. The Taz says make bar b'adama like any other cooked vegetables juice. And the sauce of the pickled beets, which is called Russell, even you cook them by themselves. Taz says make bar b'adama. Because since they were pickled in them, it's also hadama, and use it to accompany bread, such as chay adam. Nevertheless, you eat them, drink them raw, make a shako, because most of the time you eat them through a bishul. All this is not okay, as man said, because we don't do any of this stuff, so therefore any of this cases be a shako. Okay, lamates. Because of Rabbi says if you have maize trees, if you soak raisins and figs, or maybe shum, or cook them. Baruch shaka, make a shaka, yitzigam rosh, and you'll see according to rosh, bracha shel achreim. What the brachas afterwards, they see stopping. We're not clear in baruch. Baruch HaShulchan, you make a baruch HaShulchan, in baruch Chas ben Shalosh, you make halei to parades. I come to show klomar. Meaning came to rosh, have been made pears, come rockers, according to rosh. The fruit water is like vegetable water. The rashba, and okay, rashba, it's not like it, but she's like to explain. In bracha rishon shavar shaka rashba, it's again rosh. The shaka covers, even going to rosh. She's not cool. Mama shaka that's because you hit it with shaka with everything. But bracha achrein, that's not so poshut. Maya said, what are you going to do? Shem Shiba Sameh, there are the 7 species. So the rush. Brachas main shosh, you need real bracha main shosh, krepshi atzm, kshape la pri atzma. Like the fruit itself. You burn the fashos, rashpa, you know, yotze rush. You burn the fashos, like the rashpa. When Rosh Hashanah, and we made a Torah was brachas lako. So it's how brachas lako. Below Yivarech, lo mir brachas main shoshi bracha batzal das rashba. Can't make main shosh, which is the bracha batzal according to Rashi. Lo barein fashos she bracha batzal rosh. I can make the other one because bracha batzal according to Rosh. L'chein Torah Chabeyah says so that kind of kamoshi is boiled. Therefore, we need that kind of as we shall see. Really, the ain't that kind of if you have no choice. There's no that kind of. What are you going to do? You bracha main fashos. Why? The Kfar will be honored because the Rambam says it's Rasha, because the Rambam holds like Rashba in this respect as well. So if you go after the Rabbim, so therefore you make Brain Foshos at the end, because they're not made for the waters. Okay? Mishabur writes to tell you about when you drink the water by itself, and if you eat the fruit themselves and then drink the water, so you certainly don't make a separate bracha on the waters, because they become subordinate to the fruit. It is primary governance for the water, and just eat some fruit initially made it by parades. It's not unclear if you should make a second bracha shakal on the soup, according to Rosh Yotze, because according to Rosh Yotze by parades, and therefore you should make a bracha on something else first with shahakal. Be'er Locha writes, the Magen Avraham writes, it seems like there is no takana. If there's no takana, don't make a bracha at all. Also, he wrote that if you have wine, it's best to drink on the wine. That's a good chap. Drink the wine, make a geffen, and have a geffen at the end. That'll include the eights. The Beis Yosef wrote that there's no takana. That's not a takana because you shouldn't add to bracha or safek. Oh well, I didn't realize that. What he's saying is to make ala geffen and ala peros, and that's an interesting thing because we're saying like, well, once you make ala geffen, you can piggyback ala peros. That's an interesting idea, and no wonder some people question it. It's just a short. It's not that kind because you can't eat. You just can't add to nusach bracha and a suffix. But that's when you have another takana, such as you can eat the fruit and drink water. But if you don't have takana, you can rely on the taz that wrote b'shas adchak. You can add to the bracha. Therefore, you can piggyback on the alagofen. Very interesting. Some people say. I remember seeing years ago that somebody who says that the Savi way say al michyu al michvar kola, and you say we're supposed to say some post like a rebbe or I don't know who was said that you spoke as an ace to say al michyu al kola zak minisht. Okay, my brother used to joke and said, imagine Moshe Rabbeinu coming down from Sinai and telling Bnei Yisrael. When you say this, when we say this bracha achrona, say al michyu al kola zak minisht. They should ask him, Moshe, what does it mean? What does Zak Moshe mean? Moshe says, don't worry about it, just say it. Okay. Mem, Kasav. Oh, they wrote further. So therefore, this cooked fruit water only eat it during Suda. Or they eat a fruit that's Sheminim and also drink water. Because they should in order they have to make a bracha achas main shalosh on the one hand, and burn the first the other hand. He must have mind dealing with silk if you separate the water from the raisins, have a yain. You can make it into wine, so it's fermented. If it's raisins which have moisture, that if you press them, they would produce some sweetness. Some sweet substance. I mean, she has through some but if you press them, no moisture of honey will come out. No sweet moisture, low doesn't count. That which he wrote that if you soak raisins to make a shakum between the clothes, as long as the raisins are mixed with the water, they cannot be considered wine. Even if though they're fermented, it seems they can't be considered wine. But you separate them, they consider wine. This following thing is the taz, and it seems to make sense. After 3 days, obviously fermentation is cold, so it occurs. So even the raisins are within the wine. They have a loch of wine. Those say they come the Beis Yosef also said, wait, this Eshkasa, much of them is talking, because that we drew that if you drew them away and separated them from the raisins, in a quarter, doesn't mean that you drew away the raisins from the wine. The raisins are still mixed into the water. He happened to pour into his glass only water. Before I tell you about, he took into the vessel water with the raisins. I'm still not sure how that makes a difference. Somebody have wrong. All right. That which has sweetness. We talked about this. That's why Yesh Mishom, those who say she brought become brain fashos. She made a brain fashos first. The Yevark Mikon Main Shal Shem Iftar brain fashos come in from Main Shal exacerbated fashos ain't okay. This doesn't work the way. The mind vital apart bracha main shal. The mind vital apart bracha main shal. You certainly can't accept water with the bracha main shal. You're allowed to say whichever bracha you want to make first. Okay, so Be'er Locha writes, if you eat all this in the middle of the meal, you don't need bracha achrona because Be'er Locha exempts them. But bracha Yishayna, which is shahakol, you're going to need, according to everybody, even according to the Rashba, I guess, because it's not really part of the Suda, because you're not drinking as like a beverage like soda, but like a separate, distinct thing. The Bialacha writes that if you taste a bit of the raisins or the figs, that's good enough to make eitz and al priya eitz. Makes sense. The Bialacha also writes that you have to be a bit thirsty for water if you want to use the eitz or drinking water besides eating the raisins. So don't have to wait. Don't want to drink at all. Then you don't make a bracha on the water. Bialacha writes that Prima Ganim says you make the main shalosh first because it's more chashuv bracha, not because one exempts the other, just because the chashivas, the significance of the longer bracha being more significant. Memau, the daish of the machlekes the Rosh Hashanah made payros in this Malachin Rosh and Rosh made payros each old suffix shir tzechol deus is another suffix where you can't be able to say all opinions. Such as when you drink water which figs have been soaked, yochel gam to enim. He also figs. Maya said, but bracha achrona. What are you going to do about bracha achrona? The Rosh and bracha shteim, bracha man, bracha's main shalosh. According to the Rosh, they both main shalosh. Avarash bracha tenim, birchas main shalosh. But according to Rashba, on the figs is main shalosh. V'ameim, and on the water is burning foshos. Okay, so the shows gamayim olechol davish brachas achrona, burning foshos, burning share brachas. That would be the same as I said before, in order to be mischayev in both the brachos. Members, kol perishi toiva chayim ushos, any food which is good both raw and cooked. You're going to bring magasim like apples and pears. V'chalei bari preites to make a bari preites. Bank shochan chayim ben usholim. We eat them raw or cooked. Bank shekoshes and vash, or when you soak them in honey or b'chometz or vinegar or b'mashka acheres or any other beverage. V'chosha ochlin also rak chaya. The thing which eat normally only raw. Shim ushos mom says the time. When it's cooked, it loses its taste. When it's raw, ha'etz on mushalas ha'adama, when it's cooked adama. But on its soaked fruits, im he toiva ki shosab, it's good when it's soaked. Baruch ha'etz make when it breaks in lab adama, if not adama chen lehefer, so the opposite. Ein derech l'chachayim umusham. You normally don't eat them raw, but cook. Sheichayim baruch shako. When you're raw, you make the raw sheikak. You make shako. Sheivushalim when they're cooked ha'etz. Chen kavushim so too when they're soaked. So when I make them when they are raw, like we do by unripe fruit, the Yeshomar, we could say, came to us in bishul, since your whole purpose of planting them is to eat them through cooking. If it's not cooked, that I consider to be a fruit. It brings down when the brackets here, etc. Okay. Mr. Bull writes that even if they're better when they're cooked, it's also good when they're raw, and maybe that way, so therefore they can make bar plates or in any event. She writes they make shahako bracha achrona burn a fashais in the case of a case where it loses its taste when it's cooked. They make a shahako and burn a fashais. Even she was a minim. Not hadoma. That's a substantial machlekes. Wow. You know, if it loses taste, it makes a shakal bracha achrona. Not hadoma. Major machlekes. So I think it all has to do with how the minhag hamokam, so to speak, or does it go down 2 levels or 1 level? What seems to be machlekes mishnah and Arukh HaShulchan here, it really depends on how people regard it in that place. But of course, if it was a suffix, not sure people regard it, then it would default down to shako, like the Mishnah Berurah, because it's suffix brachos. The Bialacha writes that that which you make a bracha, shahako, it's not there. You can eat it, when it's eating shnak kedar in normal derech, so you can eat them a kapayim b'derech chak. Because, well, I think it's obvious. If it's eating wood, you don't even make a shahako. Okay, Mem Gimel. Kassar say about the Shulchan Aruch Sipil Gimel. Echoes Gomor, a complete nut. Not tell your first complete nut, a nut, which is a complete nut. Hamatugam Advash, which is fried in honey, Vinikra Nindo or Noyet. I think it's not even like the word nuggets, but it's related to that. Even bread plates, make bread plates. Echoes Raksha Mashim Advash. A soft nut that you cook in honey, we call it nus muscada, Muvarach lev shakal mekal shakal and some gozim shavashim midvash. So to those nuts which cook in honey, both them yukim when they're still green, Muvarach shakal mekal shakal akal l'shono. They ain't arach yodim is that cloud. We have no idea what he's talking about. Akafi in here it seems that egos are gomor royal chil gan gonna be sure. The complete nut is a nut which you can eat completely even before it's cooked. The charbish and a toko kak moshe should below vash, and after it's cooked, it's not so good unless it's with honey. Vash and tobios are baked should be chai, but if it's with honey, it's even much superior than when it's raw. Lechem because so eitz can be cut and bishul. Therefore, it's bracha many so eitz like it was before it was cooked. Mishabur writes that Achronim say that even if the nut is not whole, but rather it's broken and cut up, like people do when they fry them, then the bracha is still the same. But it has to be that it's not so ground up and it's so pounded that it's not nikkur at all. Because if it's not nikkur at all, you only make a shahako. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Avagav ikra tova b'bishul I v'ashai. You'll say that the only way it became better is by honey, and therefore you shouldn't make a shahako. Unless you become zevi atzoreshim and shuvarach olav lachar b'shul shahako, and that attack is brought down such as far. But two rejects the time of bar is to be said it's clear. The came the gambo then uchai. It's even when it's raw, it's still good to eat. Lo yorem mi malos shel advash. In fact, you add honey, it doesn't make it worse. Even though the honey makes it better, come goes the nonetheless the nut remains primary. If you look, come on a sochel vash, and that's your intent for the nut and not for the honey. But the soft nut, anyway, it's not suitable to eat at all when it's raw. Eat it by cooking in honey. If you got vash, whatever the honey is primary. Baruch shach make a shach on it. Come nevertheless, if it's a complete fruit and not the inchi adaita the hochi, where people think planted for this purpose, klipe maransin, like citrus peels, and varchalava eights. It would make a bar per eights, which we said, of course, you don't do anyway. Anyway, and a perigor, but it's not a complete fruit. People don't plan for that purpose. People because the shakal difference, but shakal v'zeatam gambe kozim shemvashim midvashim is also the reason that by nuts which are cooked in honey, but the mukim are still green. Shevarachim shahakol, they make a shakal as well. It's because of the zeu atzma goes the rachel. Some people say that this is the soft nut. This green nut is the soft nut. Okay, Morgan Avram seems to be the one who says that.